Hi all, happy Saturday, and we are back for the finish of this book. Oh my goodness, so amazing. We're done. So I'm going to show you how I put on inside covers. And I was just thinking, I hope everything's going well with you guys this week. Your projects are finished up. I'm sure you're on other projects. Some of you even say how you're on your second book. Altered book. I think that's just all awesome. And yeah, so let's get started. We have a few things to do. I decided that I was going to do a combination of both of these papers. I think we did these papers early on when we did some jelly printing, I want to say. So look at that earlier jelly printing video. Excuse me, if you want to see how I did that. So I really pulled this paper out. I was actually doing some straightening up, and I came across, I'm like, oh my God, I really think that'd be pretty inside here. So it's enough for me to, I should, by cutting this in half, have just enough to do this cover and the back cover. And what I decided to do with this is what I was originally going to use, which is this end paper. Now this end paper is out of a very old book that I have. It's like 1700 something, 36 or something like that. And these are the end covers. And so I've used these before. I think even one of my, well, maybe not. I don't know if I have this in one of my printables or not. I was trying to remember. But anyhow, you've probably seen me use this before. I think I actually used it inside the book. But I thought this opposite that would be really nice. So it kind of has like a, you know, sort of like a modern, more updated kind of look, and then with these traditional papers. So these are what I'm going to use. Now this I printed on, this image I printed on crane. It's 100% cotton paper, and it's a crane stock. So I really wanted to make sure I did it on something that was a nice quality. But of course you can do it on whatever you have available. So I'm going to put those over there. Now what we need to do is go back and let me get these pages out. Because remember I left all of this not sure what I wanted to do. And I just wanted to leave myself options. So what I decided to do is take all of this out. And we're just going to glue this page to that page. And that's going to give us... So I'm just going to tear these out like we did in the beginning. Okay, should have one more. Yep. Okay, so we'll get rid of those. Now that'll give us here this directly. And then what that'll leave me to do is I'll just come inside and cover this with something. I haven't decided yet. I might just cover it like with one of the Mark Rothko jelly prints, or I might just jelly print just something in a pearlized white blacky version that I do, and put them in there. And then let's tear it out in the back. Same thing. I can take these out. So whatever you left in your book, if you even left any in, because you might have been doing exactly what I was doing to figure out, okay, how is she going to finish this off? If so, that's what we're doing. Okay, so that would give me this one. So this is going to get glued right to this one. And then it doesn't leave me, I don't have to worry about anything. I could have left one page in, but if I had done it like that, then that would leave me 2 pages to have to do, and I didn't want to do that. So this is going to be how this is going to go. And then the front will end up with, hold up. Maybe I should do it the same. Maybe I should just take this out and just leave this blue page here. Let me just do that. That might be the smartest thing to do. So then it goes from here to here. And so then back here, it'll go from here to here. I still end up with a page. But that's okay. I'd rather have this blue like this, and then I'll just do something on this one spread in the inside than to have that extra page to worry about. So there. So all we have to glue is this. So let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to use my Giotto, because I know that's going to give me a really good just trying to put some stuff away here. That's going to give me a really good adhesion. That I know, and it's not going to put a lot of water in it. So go ahead and put our waste sheet underneath here so we don't have any to worry about any of the glue going over strange. So we'll just get a good amount on here so we know this is going to really hold this page down. Okay, so what I am going to do is get these ends really good. Always get your ends and your edges, because those are the things that can be a little elusive when it comes to a good glue job. I spend extra time making sure those are okay. So what I am going to do is a follow-up to what we had done in the beginning. I am going to put a little bit of this PVA or white glue right in that little spine pocket so that we don't have any air pockets there either. I don't want. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this right prayerfully. I think I have to do it that way. Yeah, so that the page, so we get the page to go, you know, so this page will move out and be flush with this one, versus if I did it this way, we'd see a white edge because this right here wouldn't have gotten locked in place, and it would have just been like extra movement. So when you put it down, let's go this way. Oh, that went down beautifully. And the nice thing about it, there's not a lot of, I got a little glue there. There's not a lot of, I know what I'll do real quick. Or, there's not a lot of water. Moisture is the word I'm trying to come away with. It's not a lot of moisture in my page, which is nice. So we just, that glue kind of rubs off nicely, almost the way you rub, sort of like rubber glue, you know. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. It was called, it's a glue, but it's called rubber. Oh, you guys are saying it for me right now. I hear you, but I can't. It'll come to me. It's just rubber glue. Anyway, you remember how it just would roll off? That's how this Giotto does. So that's perfect. So our end will be done when we do our end pages. So let me come back up here, and there's nothing to glue here, which is cool. I may even use that glue to put on these pages because I love how sticky this Giotto is, but it doesn't have a lot of moisture in it, and that's a good thing. So it may be the winner of putting all these pages down. Okay, so now that we have all the extra pages out the way, we've made that decision. I'm going to go ahead and do this, I think. So I'm going to get this down here. I think this will be good opposite. Yeah, that's nice. So let's, so I'm going to have that extra there. So let me get my pencil. So I'm just laying it out on the page here. And then I'm just sort of marking where I want it cut. So what I do is I just move the page down so I can see the edge and then just mark it. And then, so let me just, then I put this back and slide it this way. And then I can see the edge, which is right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and trim this up. I'm gonna line it up so I know I've got a nice square, and my page was right there, my mark. Okay, so go down, and this is all good stuff for, of course, collaging, especially when you print out on your good paper. You want to make sure that you use it for other things. Okay, just want to make sure I get this straight. Okay, that slid a little bit. Looks like it's okay though. Okay, so now because I know I need to do the back page, let's just go ahead. I'm just a believer. I'm gonna measure it. Just trying to decide if I'm going to do the same lighter edge like that. I think I'll just grab the darker edge here for the back, since I have this blue. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. I need to have it over here. Maybe the darker edge there. We'll put it down the bottom like that. Let's just see what that'll look like. So we just kind of get a different bit of the pattern. So I wanted to see what that looked like. Now we'll just come back over to this piece that we already. Nope, I'm gonna keep it right here. We already measured. No need to measure that all over again. We know it's going to work. It's the same size page. Okay. And we'll get this edge here. Okay. Alrighty. Good. Still looking good in the camera here. I have to make sure because this is my new camera setup, so I'm trying my best to get used to. Yep, it goes like that. Getting used to it all. Like working on when you change your camera setup, everything changes. So I'm just used to looking in a different direction. I just want to make sure that my edge and everything is good and we're in frame. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, this is just pilling up a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of PVA right in there just to cause that to be smoothed down a little bit more, so that little edge. Yeah, so if any of this is popping up or anything, just go ahead and put a little bit of glue. This is going to get glued over anyway, but just so you know it's not popping up. Alrighty. Okay. So let me make sure I know where the front of my book is. I don't put things in upside down. Okay. So this is going to go here. Perfect. Right on that page like that. That looks good. So we're going to go back to this Giotto. And this is, sometimes you guys are asking me. So it's Giotto, Giotto. And it's made in Italy. It's readily available all over Italy for €1 something, But to get it here in the States, it's you got to pay your tariffs and the shipping and everything. So, but it definitely is worth it. I had a couple of my patrons order some and send it to me, which was really awesome of them. And I definitely will reorder it. It's worth it. It's worth the extra that you have to pay for the shipping. But I use Oohoo, and one of my, I think one of you guys here on, was it here or on my Patreon? I kind of get confused sometimes because it's so many comments. And we're all talking back and forth. I think it might have been here on YouTube that she was saying that it is German brand, and it also is readily available. Like it's a, you know, it's $1 something, €1 something anywhere you go. And I definitely pay more than that to have it. When I buy it off of Amazon, it's still almost $30 for 12 sticks. So it's you know, so the Giotto is comparable to that in terms of the shipping and everything. I'm gonna stand up now because I want to get this right. So I remember I wanted the darker side down. So I'm gonna get myself set up top and bottom. And then before you let it go down, get into the middle, hold the sheet up. And then just make sure you use you know, work from the center always out, because you don't want to get any kind of bubbles or let me get a different card here, bubbles or wrinkles, things like that. You know, if you've done anything like this before, you know what I mean. Okay, I get to trim a little bit off the top there, but I'm not going to trim that this little bit. We're just a little bit, you know, more edge. So, but I'm going to trim that once it dries. So if you have that same thing happen to you, you have a little bit overage, don't worry about it. Just let it dry. And then when it dries, you can always, like, take, because I'm not going to probably do it on this video because I really wanted to dry good. But you can take your cutting board and just put it underneath there, and then you can just cut that off. But I'd rather for it to be good and dry and not have to worry about that before I do it. So I spent a little time just getting this down before I go to the front. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece in the back too. That way I can, when I put it down, I can put my wax paper. Oh, also, if you're wondering why maybe I started at the back of the book, this is just going to have to go in half, and I do believe it's going to fit. Because if I'm going to get something wrong, mess it up, the glue's not going to work right, anything, measurements, anything, it's not in the front of my book. So I kind of always make sure that I got everything working. I would have a couple of times of practice because I'd have the back covers. So when I move to the front, you know, I know that I should be in pretty good shape. So this is going to be our front, and this is the back. So yeah, that's good. Perfect. Yep. We have a little bit of the blue gap there, but I don't want that much there either. So ideally, let me just see. If I do it like that, let me just look at the front. You know what? I'm going to go with having a larger gutter here because I do have like my scripting and things on it, so that looks good. And cover that blue in there. I think I prefer that, honestly. So that's what we're going to do. Okay? So, because I don't really want that blue. Even though I have blue in this, something about that blue there. The other thing I can do is I could paint that too. Let's just see real quick. let's check all our options before we commit. Pretty sure that's the Arteza. Let me use this. That's the Arteza with Aztec Gold. So I've done this before too, you know, throw a little paint somewhere because it is the same color, you know. I just put it over here so I could have it out the way a bit, but I'll show you guys. I mean, that's what I used to print this, the Aztec Gold. So where am I putting it? Right there. So let's just do it. Because the main thing is I just want the blue gone so that the golds will. Okay. I think this may work. So what I have to do is just rub it down in here. And then I'll have to just do it one more time because it's the blue just popping through just a little bit. You know how that goes. Because this is basically a an acrylic metallic. So you're going to get a little bit of translucent kind of thing to it. But I really want to push that color down in there because I don't want to see that blue. And I can just use, it's just a little bit there. It's no big deal. Okay. So let's do this again. Let's just put another bit in that. So it's a lot of ways to fix, you know, what you're doing. Just, you know, when you're confronted with something like that, like I had to kind of split that down the middle because I only had one piece of that because it's, you know, one-off jelly print. And so it was just a little short, which I knew it was going to be, but I was hoping it would be less short than it was. But anyhow, you know, we've just solved it by putting this down in here like that. See? So now what'll happen is I'll put this over top and voila. We don't see that blue. It's just a little bit of gold and it looks like the gold of the paper. So I like that solution. I'll be doing that on the other side. Let me just get this so this isn't short right here. Okay. Looking good. Okay. So let me just get that so it doesn't dry out the brush until I get to it again because I'll be doing this gold in the front. Okay, so let's get our glue sheet here and we're going to, using the Giotto, here again, getting a really good coverage. Really working on those edges. Okay. Alrighty. This looks good. Get those edges good, remember. Okay, move that over. So the same thing here. I'm going to flip it around this way so I can get that right before the crease. And then let's just make sure top and bottom we have the same distance. And then wherever everything kind of gets just moved over further and further away. Just make sure we're going from the center out. Okay. Wow, that looks good. This edge is perfect in there. That color, everything. I can even take, whoops, I can even take my brush here and just a little bit of that white that got exposed when I got the torn edge. I can knock it back with this little bit of paint. So that was a good thing. You can't even see it. This is wonderful. It makes me happy. Glad I stopped and worked on resolving that, because I'm going to put it up so you can see it. You can hardly even see it at all. It's like really, I forgot I do have the zoom on here. Let me just see. It might be better to bring it down. If you can see, yeah. See that? Perfect. The zoom is better. Really, really good and clean. So that extra paint that we put down there, when we put this paper back down, perfect. Okay, so let's get to the other side. I'm gonna go ahead and put my, did I get it out far enough? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the wax paper to really protect it, and then let's go to the front. It's exciting. So here again, it's a little bit that's sticking up right here, so no problem. We'll just coax that down with a little bit of glitter glue so that we actually glue our page on top of that, which we will be. And I think what I'm going to do now, since I know that I'm going to be filling that gutter, I'm going to do it now before I put that paper down. So I don't run the risk of, you know, I don't have to worry about being super careful, because I have to worry about getting paint on it, you know. So that, you know, that's what happens when you know what you're going to do. You can plan that step out. When you don't, you know, I'm happier that I fixed it than not. I just had to work a little more carefully, but now that I'm on this side, and you see why I always go to the back first, because the back is where you can figure everything out. I could have been on the front and trying to figure it out, make a mess, you know, everything's going on, you know what I mean? So I was able to figure it out back there and actually come up with the best solution for here now, because I don't have to worry about being careful, and I'll just get it in there. This is the Aztec Gold in the Arteza. It is such a beautiful, it's like a gilded, almost like a really true gilt, you know, gilded gold. It's like one of my favorite colors. That actually is definitely in my top 5 of all time colors. You may be asking. Well, everyone who's been following me for a while knows I like Golden's Quinacridone Ozo Gold. I love their iridescent bronze in the Goldens. I love in, oddly enough, because I mean, even I can go up or down. In the flash colors, I think my all-time favorite color, even though I really like the orange and the teal combination, because it makes a really, really yummy olive-y kind of color that I love jelly printing with. I think I have to go with the flash black. I use that a lot. It's really a nice black to use in my jelly prints. So from that standpoint, So getting used to the camera, I needed to stop it and then continue on because of the way the card and stuff is set up in terms of how much I can film at a time, but it's all good. I'm getting used to it. So we've gotten this down here. So yeah, I was talking about, I just kind of feel like I want to put, this has just come up a little bit on this side, which I ain't happy about, because I know I want that to be a little bit more solid than that. It's just because the page is naturally, I've torn a lot of pages out. There's a lot of gaps. So look at your book. If there's anything ever that looks a little odd, like this opening is coming apart, it's easy for us to just get some more glue in there so that it won't do that. So we'll get a lot of good of this this art glitter glue, which is actually a PVA. We've talked about this before, like why they, I guess at the time they were marketing this product, it's used a lot to put sequins and things like that on, I guess. So I'm assuming they wanted to impress the consumer with, let me get some underneath here, with, you know, how strong it was. But it's odd because you think, and for the longest time when I heard people say, oh, I like using the glitter glue, and I would think, oh, I don't know that I really want, I'm just talking while I get this down. I would be thinking, I don't know that I really want glitter. I don't want glue with the glitter in it. Because that's what it always sounded like to me. Until, I don't know, I was some kind of way, I was looking at something or someone, I don't even remember where it was now because it's been a while ago. And I realized that it was a PVA, that it actually didn't have glitter in it. So I'm like, oh. So then I thought, well, let me try it. So I ordered it. And I really, I fell in love with it. It's such a really good glue. Easy to use. Easy cleanup. Okay, this is all good. Easy cleanup, and it's proven to be very strong with time and all of that. But what's funny is once I started using it, I would get the same questions because because obviously I'm not saying every time that it doesn't have glitter in it. I've said it before, but I'm not saying it every time I go to use it. So then I try to just call it a PVA because you guys are doing the same thing I did, which is I got a little page tear here and I'm feeling like I don't want that. So I'm feeling like I want to fix it. And I'm going to want to fix it because I don't like that. So let me get my strips that I use to fit. Here we are. This is actually, oh, you guys are getting all the little tricks. So this is Japanese hinge paper, and it's made out of very strong Japanese. It's actually paper, but it's very strong. And it's used for like hinging pictures and stuff so that you don't, mess your things up. It's gummed on the back. But you can also use it. It's similar to a product that I used to use all the time for fixing old books and old manuscripts. So it'll go down thin. It'll go down, it's thin, so it'll go down really nicely. I'm going to have to do some gold again, but that's okay because I get to put it, I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm putting it down right where that little problem was. And I'm going to rip as little as, I should have ripped that off. It's going to be a little uneven, but I don't want too much of that weirdness, and it gets in the way when I go to lay. So I'm going to use my finger because my finger is rounded, obviously, so I don't run the risk of really sticking through that hole again. I did not like that hole. Now fix things on this side, but Okay, so see, that just kind of fixed that hole. So no worries, we'll just go back in and use some more gold. By the time we get everything on there, we're not going to see it. We're not going to notice it. It's going to be a little lighter, but it's going to be okay. Okay. Alrighty. So I'd much rather have that repair there than to have that be a weak spot on my book at some point in the future. At least I know that hole will not pop up. Okay, so let's finish up on this edge. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece down first. And I decided I was going to put the lighter edge up in that corner like that. So that'll be perfect. So you really won't even see any of that. But at least it's fixed. I like to keep on, since I have glue here, I want to kind of keep on just rolling it a little bit. Make sure it's sticking while it's setting up. Yep. Okay. So let's go ahead and get back to this. This glue stick is really making it easy, because normally I would use the liquid PVA that I use to put the book cloth on, because it's the only thing I really trusted previously. But this is working really good. And the big thing about this is it's super sticky, but it's not, and it also says like it's acid free and stuff like that. So it's a good product, but it doesn't have a lot of moisture in it. And that's the thing that gets you in bookbinding, is all that moisture in between every page. You just don't want that, because you have to constantly then put it on a book block and let it settle. And that you're doing all the time until you get the book done, if you have to keep on applying. Okay, if you have to keep on applying glue that has a lot of wet to it. Okay, so here we are. Perfect. So I wanted the light at the top. So I'm going to turn it and face this way. So that way we can see the top and bottom of the page. So we're getting it even. We can get it right in that gutter. Okay, so let's go ahead and work outward again. Perfect. Got a little extra there, you can see, but we're not going to worry about that. Same as on the back. We won't worry about that until the whole book is dried. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to put the book under weight. I'm going to let it dry really good. And then any cleaning up, anything that I need to do, it's done better when the book is completely dry. That looks so good. I feel good about my repair, and I'm still going to put something here, probably, like I said, a jelly print, like one of the Mark Rothko styles. You barely can see that there's a bit of paper there. So now this is going to go down like that. Perfect. Okay, last piece. We're done. We are done. But this technique you could use on all kind of altered books. You can do this inside of your journals. If you want to kind of zhuzh up your journals inside the covers, or you want to put your jelly prints or something back there, this is the way you do it. This is just basically a foolproof way of, you know, getting a neat job and cover those ends without a whole lot of glue, without a whole lot of moisture, not all that buckling. And if you've tried this before, you know you got buckling, you have creases, everything. So it's just knowing what to do. Once you know what to do, you're good. Okay, let me just get these ends. This is really thick paper too, so it's really good to know that I'm getting a good coverage. All right. Okay, so let's take this, flip it that way. stand up again. I always do best when I can stand up. So this is going to go right up to that edge. And then I'm going to make sure top and bottom that it's good. Now it's a little off here. So I don't want that. So make sure we're paying attention down here. You know, that this whole channel, can you see that? Yeah, that this whole channel is the same width, and this is good this way too. So now, working from the inside out. I always want to work from the inside out. That way, you don't have to worry about any buckles or anything. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Now right here, same thing as we did before. I'm going to go ahead and get that bone fold. I'm going to use the flat edge. So I don't want anything too pointed. See, that looks good. So let me get my brush again, just so we can go along that edge that was torn. But that torn edge plays a really good role, because what it does is it allows this glue down to blend into this gully without looking like a straight edge. So it just looks like it's just all a part of it, which is nice. I'm just going to be very careful to try to dust this edge right here. Okay. So here we have it. I'll just zoom in a bit. So you can see that repair. Just going to get right there. So you can see the repair. You nearly don't see it at all. And you see how this edge just really blends in nicely. And so that's how you just get a really nice finish. Now I know that maybe some of this is some people like, I'm not really into doing, well, do it back on. I'm not really into worrying, it's a lot of work. It seems like a lot of work to do this. It is a labor of love. I'm a book artist. I love books. I mean, when I first learned how to bind a book, to me, that was the best thing. It was like, oh my God, you can actually make these things. Like really looks like a real book, make them, So I've always loved books from the time I was just like a little girl. And my mother used to go to antique stores. I used to always be over with the old books with with the edges that were deckled, because they were handmade papers, which I didn't know anything about them. I'm like, 3 and 4 years old. And with the gold, the gilding to be on the pages, or inside it'd be these yummy, paste papers. I was just thrilled. I loved old books. And I tell you, I still have a few books from back in those days that were really old books that, it was 10 cents, 5 cents at the, thrift stores. And now they're just obviously worth a lot more than that. But so, I'm just a lover of this. So for those of you who are a lover of this and really wanted to just have better success with creating your pages, then that's why I really wanted to take the time to show you guys how I did it. I could have just done it and then said, okay, I'm done, here are the pages. But I know there are a lot of you who actually reached out and said, oh my goodness, I really appreciate that. I've seen it done countless times, and I learned some new things from watching you, blah, blah, blah. So I know that a lot of you really wanted to learn that, and others were like, oh, that's cool, but I'll stick to a pamphlet style, which is all good. It's no right or no wrongs. But anyhow, so we are done. Now, I may do something on this cover because I have the gold. I have this set, is this by the foil quill by Memory Keepers. This thing really works well. I love it. So I may do some gold on here as well. I was kind of thinking about that, but you guys will see. For the most part, we are done, and we'll be moving on to another project. Next week, I have a fun project set up. It's going to be kind of a book style of sorts, but it's going to be with my printables. So my printables are out. These are the ones from for this month. So some of you have already gone over and gotten some, so thank you so much. But this one is called Old Walls of the Yucatan. And you know, I really have gotten known for the old wall technique on jelly printing. And when I go traveling, I have hundreds of pictures of walls. And to me, they look like abstract, like New York, you know, the New York period of art, you know, in the 50s and 60s, abstract art, you know. So I take a lot of them like that. So this one is old walls. And what's beautiful about these is that you can do like we just have always done. You can jelly print on top of them. And then go from there. Just have a lot of yummy texture. So on two of them, on this one, which was like this old wood, and everything is yellow in one of the cities that I took stuff from. So this wood actually was this bright yellow with the brown going on in it. So, but what I did is I jelly printed using the Sumi ink technique and what have you, and then that gets to be used as an element. And just look how neat that is now with this background. And I just jelly printed the glazing that I do, and you can do an image or whatever on top of it. And that's the same with this one. This one was a thatched roof that was in the top of an old, like really old Mayan ruin. And so I really blew it up so you get this really neat pattern. But then I just jelly printed on top of that with the glazing and some scripting. And then I like using these as elements, as collage pieces. And just look how cool that looks. So there are 21 this time, because I couldn't make up my mind, and I had hundreds literally of pictures. So I went through them and I just got some that I thought were really cool in the same kind of color palette. And there are some creams. And then this one, look at this. So I did do some of my mixture of scripting, and this was sort of like this one originally. So I did it both ways. And then I think I even have it in the actual color, because this is, you know, took the color out, and this was what it looked like originally. So anyhow, there are 21 of these. I'll put the link below. If you guys want to start working with them, you can grab them. I'm going to do kind of a cool book structure. It's going to be a concertina, and we're going to play with these, do a little collaging, and play with the printables. And I guess that's everything. I'm going to let you guys go. We've had a full run of it all. So thanks a lot. If you enjoyed the video, please thumb it up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We have a lot of fun over here. And now, thank you guys for all your suggestions. I'm making a list of them all, and I'm going to start just lining projects up with those suggestions. So please feel free to keep on suggesting if you missed out on it from last week. And also, thank you all for everyone who said put you on the list for this book. So I'm going to start working on it because I'll have it professionally photographed. So I'll get that done, knowing that you guys do, you know, want to have it. It's like something you would like to do. So we'll get this all looking really pretty and yummy, and I'll let you guys know. So it'll be a couple of months, but it's in the plans. All right. So much love to you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as always. Love you so much. Happy creating. Bye-bye.